So I'm going to start with a questionnaire which SAP did a while ago, and they asked their customers what is the hugest challenge what they have in the financial or in the accounting teams. And the companies said that for 25% of them, the most challenge is to have the manual processes. And this was the most answer. The second most answer was that they want to have good data quality, which was the second most answer. So we're in 2023 and are still talking about manual processes and data quality out of that. And that's why for more than 2 years ago, Nagarro decided to create a product to have something for the invoice process, for incoming invoices. And what we wanted to have is wanted to reduce the manual data work to a minimum so that we have a huge amount of automation. And we wanted to have good data quality, of course, because that's the most important thing for invoice processing. We wanted to use latest technologies, AI and ML, and we wanted to have modern browser layout so that it's cloud capable. We asked our customers a while ago how much does it take for them to enter one invoice manually, and they told us it takes around 5 minutes. So that means in the end, one employee can enter up to 100 invoices per day, which is very monotonous and very time consuming. Also, it's very error prone. And that's also the reasons why we wanted to switch that to having a product. I think the customer quote here fits quite good. In German, die Bearbeitung von Rechnungen gehört sicherlich nicht zu den spannendsten Aufgaben, ist aber dennoch ein wichtiger Teil in jedem Unternehmen. In English, processing invoices is not the most fancy, the most exciting thing to do, but it's an important part in every company. So if error needs to be corrected, then the invoice processing takes more time, and also it's demotivating the employees. Also, there's the huge challenge that invoices are coming into several formats. That's what we wanted to solve. That's why having correct data and having a high automation process is essential. So let's have a look at the key features of our invoice scanner. We wanted to have a process again where the whole invoice process is end-to-end digitalized. That means invoices are coming into several forms in different ways. We wanted to avoid having to print out PDF files, having to scan them in again and upload them, and we wanted to automate all that. So the invoice scanner is capable of receiving invoices from several channels. Most of the time, currently, invoices are coming in via email. That means a PDF file is attached to an email. And the invoice scanner picks up those emails, fetches the PDF file from there, uploads it to the S4 system, and also then via that way it's automatically archived. No need to take care of anything else. Also, it's directly integrated into the S4 system, which means that there's no different login necessary or any other program or so. The invoice then is created as an invoice bill inside the S4 system with every information pre-detected. That means, I don't know the exact English word, it's gemerkt in der Fassung, so that an accountant can still change data which is in the S4 system. We do not recommend a full dark booking in the background because there might be errors in the recognition or the GL account assignment could be wrong. Most of the time that doesn't happen, that's our experience from our customers, but we still recommend to just do a simple check after that. Yeah, we detect the general ledger account, then the KL account, through intelligent routines. That means yeah, we derive that from historical data. Also, what's the most important features is that there is no data replication necessary, as the solution is directly integrated to the PS4 system. It means if a new supplier is created in the PS4 system, it doesn't need to be replicated somewhere else, it can directly be used. And we guarantee a very high recognition rate due to the neural networks and ABBYY Vantage, which we use. I'm going to show you more about the data. Also, an important key feature is that the integration with the workflows is directly possible. You don't have to create any other workflow into that system. It's just you can use it as it is. So if you have already defined workflows with the approval process, then those will be triggered directly after the scanning. And yeah, the invoice scanner is available for S/4HANA in public cloud, private cloud, or on-prem, and we are already also checking other SAP systems for the integration. Let's have a look at how the process itself would look like. As said, there are several channels where the invoices come into the system. We see here the email postbox again, which has just said that the PDF files will be fetched from there and then will be uploaded to the S4 system. Also possible is some file share or some purely manual upload app. We also see that here that the topping e-invoices and the invoice scanner is also capable to process these invoices. And yeah, we heard that also before. The countries have several regulatories and several years announced when this will be used or when this will be a must-have. But they are postponing it again and again. It's like that. But still, the invoice scanner is already capable to do that. In the second step, yeah, based on some statistical rules, and we derive the supplier and the other GL account and process this invoice. In the third step, we're already back in the SAP standard. That means that the pre-processed invoice bill is created in the S4 system, and as said, we are triggering the workflow after that, so that an accountant can check the invoices and then process everything. Fourth step is again the approval workflow, but then in the end, in the fifth step, it's already booked. Let's have a look at the technology and why the invoice scanner is maybe creating such a good quality for the invoice processing. The invoice scanner gets the invoice via the incoming channel at the beginning. And then the first step is to run it through a preprocessor. Via that preprocessor, we detect several basic information about the invoice, which is, for example, the language. Via that language, yeah, this helps us simply by doing the other processes. In the next step, we send the invoice into three engines in parallel. The first one is the template engine. This template engine helps us to get, again, basic data out of the invoice, which could be the invoice date. Very simple, because the invoice date can be detected by a static rules. Very simple. The next one is an own developed machine learning engine. We developed that right from the beginning, and because we wanted to combine the results of several engines and to have it simply at a data quality. That engine was trained with many thousands of invoices from several countries in several different languages. So we have received a huge amount of invoices which we trained them with. The third one is ABBYY Vantage. I'm going to show you more about that. In the next step, merge results, there has to be a lot of magic. Via some intelligent routines, we combine the results from all three engines, so that the whole information makes sense. For example, we check if the invoices or the item amounts match with the full amount. So also, then we have a quality check step where we check if everything in the end makes sense. And then we enrich the data and the account information from, for example,
Can I ask a question?
yes, sure.
Is it important that the documents have a PO number there in order to successfully recognize your items?
Kick out in the lobby. Still home office, bro.
Say that information, right?
Yeah. So the invoice doesn't necessarily have to have the PO. Not information in the account, and then it's transfer data, but it helps it has PO. But I would say for us, at the moment it's they have.
What else you would go by the vendor?
Yes.
Another question of putting because I have a very question. Also, this comes from I'm from Siemens, comes from our global side. So you scan it.
That's great.
You cannot click
Yeah.
there and use it. Whoever
To the right click.
you can right click on people and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it should be like organizer.
It works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, you can.
Actually, that's a very good slide. I wanted to ask you about, so we're extracting the data. We have an invoice with multiple line items.
Yeah.
So you have like, and this invoice, you want to do validations on multiple line items. And then you want to match the line items to specific items that you expect to have. So it's data from your ERP usually. So if you have a PO with 3 line items, you're going to get an invoice with 3 line items. Mm-hmm. And maybe you have a 4-1, because in my case, I have a 4-1, maybe it's commission, for example.
Yeah,
how do you do that? Is your solution able to handle this matching and the validations on the line item level?
Yeah, we are able to match the items on the invoice with the items on the PO, mm-hmm. and we're doing that via the item text. I mean, that's mostly the only option. So if it contains something from the purchase order item, then it matches the invoice item. So we're not doing anything else. For example, you could think about the amount or the price, the item price, but we're only doing it via the item text at the moment.
So you're only matching the text to make sure what is invoice is what is on the PO, but you're not matching the line item of that specific text. Let's say 20 euros for service, 100 euros for the computer or something, but you're not matching 100 to 100 to a PO or 20 to 20.
No, not like that. But for example, if you have, as mentioned, if you have the freight or something else on the invoice which does not match the PO, because you would never have the freight on the PO, it's not part of the purchase order, then we're matching that also against a general ledger account.
But you do the overall amount of the PO with the overall amount on the invoice, right?
Yes, right. Yeah.
Okay, and if it's
verified that it's correct.
Okay, and then if it fails, it goes to manual validation.
No, we are still creating the invoice, but then here in the list of supplier invoices in the SAP system, there you can correct if necessary.
Okay.
So it's created anytime, but you have to correct it there. I'm just going to show you that afterwards.
Great, thank you.
Right, and then the invoice is created in the S4 system. Yeah, as said, we're using ABBYY Vantage for the data extraction, and ABBYY Vantage is also using a machine learning engine. I mean, we heard that several times today. It has a neural network which is capable to process data from multiple documents. It doesn't necessarily have to be an invoice. It's also extract data from purchase order information or from other documents. Vantage does that via skills which are already available in the system, and other skills can be purchased or can be derived from the marketplace. In general, what's also beneficial is that you don't have to develop anything. You can use the skills out of the box and get good results immediately. But it uses this no-code, that's done. But if you have several more specific requirements, you can still develop certain rules to get more information out of the documents. It uses Kubernetes cluster with a microservice, which not only has a technical benefit, it also has the benefit that it has a really good performance. Let's get more into how we use ABBYY Vantage. We wanted to have a very simple, very straight process also here. When we see it already, just input, OCR, classify, extract and output, and that's it. We don't have any more specific rules or so. We're just using this process as it is. We see here several language skills. EU European languages are all supported. We also have US and Canada and Australia and New Zealand. That's simply because our customers are using these languages, but ABBYY Vantage is capable to support many more languages. And now let's just have a short demo on how the invoice scanner in general works. So we're now in an S4 system, which is our internal demo system, and there are several types. I'm going to show you today how the manual upload works. This is done via this app, and I'm going to select the company code where this invoice is assigned to, and then we can also already predefine the cost center or WPS element. So this is optional because all this information would be detected then from the invoice and from the system. There's posting date, which is obviously today because I'm posting the invoice then today. I could add some notes, but then in the end, I'm just going to upload one invoice. This invoice, and we're going to see that also later then, is a real invoice, which we from Nagarro got from our coffee vendor. So that was the upload, and everything is done already. I'm going to now switch to the monitor where we can see the scanning results. We can see already on the top that there's our Tea Peter Cafe invoice, which is in status initial. That means in the background, processing will start within a minute or so. We see other information already in that list, and here also the other invoices which are already processed. We see the created on date, which was right now. You can see again the company code and who uploaded it. The other, this long, strange thing which you always also see is an internal ID just for support cases. I'm going to refresh the list once, and then we see the status switch to processing, which means that in the end, on the background, the whole processing now takes place. And if I'm going to refresh it again, hopefully it's already created. We also see, don't know if you had a careful look at that the number of pages was updated. I'm going to select that now, and we will see on the right side the processing information or the extraction results. At the top, again, we have the basic information, which is also under that. We now have here a link to the supplier invoice, which was created in the S4 system. I'm going to open that later. And also on the top here is the other basic information about that, which is the gross invoice amount, and also the invoicing party which was detected. And as said before, the status of the invoice in the system. We now have here in this section the whole master data information from the invoice. We see that it's the vendor or the supplier was Peter Café, GmbH, UKG. We see the address which was extracted or recognized from the data, the country, the VAT number, the IBAN, and so on. If I'm going to scroll down, we see again here a preview of the invoice. Just going to make that a bit bigger so that we compare the data. You see here, for example, the invoice number, which is also on the right side. The supplier is this internal supplier ID. We have the document type right on top, which is supplier invoice, but it could also be a credit memo, of course. We have again the amount, the currency, and the invoice date, and so on. And on the bottom, we have, unfortunately, only one item, which is the presentation error. But because there are two items on the invoice, and obviously something went wrong. If there would have been a purchase order, then this would be detected here in that case. I'm going to open now the invoice in the S4 system, how it was created, and there we can see the GL account assignment, for example. That's again back in the SAP standard. We're out of the invoice scanner here, and it's just the regular process. Again, we see here the information that was extracted and also the assignment to the supplier. We have again the information, and we have the GL account assignment where the amount was assigned to. As it is a coffee, it was some general GL account, but also we see the tax rate and also the tax code which was assigned. From here on, I could edit the invoice and then just do this short check of the invoice, and then I would see also, as I said, the items were detected. That's why we have a misbalance here. So something was wrong, and that's why I would probably need to create here the amount we would add that. But if I did that, if I checked everything, I could click on the check button and then simply post the invoice, and then the workflow will be triggered. And basically, that's it already. There's nothing more to the process. Very simple, very straight. Right.
So, can I ask a question? So it hasn't detected the second line item now. Can you train it so next time it would detect it, or how would that work?
Yeah, so the training is done by us. It's done in the background, and we are training with every invoice which was processed in the end.
Is it really didn't detect the second line item? I didn't saw it. So did it detect the second line item?
No, it didn't detect the line item. That was the error in this case.
But ABBYY should have detected it, right?
3 models are there, so
I'm really sure that ABBYY detected really the invoice item in the background, but I believe there was some error in the processing.
But this is, so what you're doing the integration. So I know the S4 comes with the OpenText OCR, which is not good. But now it seems to me that everything that you put on the S4 is pretty much there's elements of what you are creating on top of the ABBYY standard extension, right? The S4?
Yeah, in ABBYY Vantage is just for the extraction of the data. And then we're doing the logic behind that to match everything in the SAP system.
So you are doing the logic behind it after that. So that's your contribution. Yeah. But don't you guys have an extension with S4 already? For invoice posting?
I do not think so. Maybe technical people.
That's the question.
Yeah, maybe regular. Yeah, you can address.
The question is like,
Do
don't
you
you
have the
have
extension for posting in SAP directly?
The connector is in works, but for now, I think we don't have a connector, but this is something that ABBYY is working on.
Okay, so you're working on the connector, but do you have also a connector working for R3? For R3 SAP, the previous version?
I cannot answer this question at the moment. I don't know.
Okay, we'll check. We'll check.
Yeah, we need
All
to
right.
check.
We'll check.
How do you match the GL account? In this case, how do you match the GL account?
It's we take it from historical data. So first we match or search for the supplier.
But then you need the customer data before to train it for.
Foundation data is needed, yes.
And you have to specify the company code before, right? Uploading.
Yeah, because a supplier could be multiple times in the S4 system. You could have the same supplier with a different company code because you could have work with this supplier with multiple businesses. And that's why it's mandatory to say company code first. Also, if you're an accountant, if you're working for one or for for which company code you are working.
Yeah, but usually, let's say invoice comes to one address of us. Like, so usually that address in our system is the one company code. And then usually like we don't basically write. So we want automation. So we have like bunch of documents dropped into a folder and then basically the process starts picking up all this.
Okay, then in this case we could define that every invoice which is fetched from that folder has.
So we have mixed folders. So we don't have separate folders for different company codes. No, we have one single folder. Everything is dumped there, and still we are able to differentiate.
How would a human know where it belongs to? Yeah. How would the human know where it belongs?
Human doesn't have to know. That's why. So we automate. So we don't even have any person. So from address,
there are just no rules, or you have to make a, how do you say, a compromise and put in the company code, because like you said, if the supplier is in both company codes, like how would you know? If both order coffee from the same vendor, how should the system know to?
Yeah, so that time like that manual part comes in, but not for other because.
Yeah, but.
So usually we have seen like demos with other providers, which they have the situation, like what he explains is very common for us, like to be able to reference what documents you get in terms of first document type, so what document it is. Second is where does the document have to go? So usually you have to put some referential data. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think with ABBYY you can put referential data to split the documents, and then you can reference them, right?
Yes.
This is the one that does the job. This part that does the job. And then, yes, it depends. You may have a SAP data, like company code it needs to go, or you can have business partner data or PO data where it needs to be matched, right?
Yeah.
So this is what you guys have?
Yeah.
So
easily, we already do it. So we don't have to put company code or anything. We can simply fetch from the folder. And we use ABBYY skills, and then this skill can automatically then identify that which company code it has to post and so on.
So you already have done it with Infineon, right? Okay, cool.
Okay, that would work if you have, for example, a PO, because PO also is a reference to one company code, but without having that, the supplier could be multiple company codes in that.
Yeah, so we focus on like one system. Right, so which is our going to be central system and so on. So there we try to do. And let's say even if there are two vendors, right? Let's say old system and new system both are having the same provider and so on. So only for this, it should go into the manual review in ABBYY case, and then the person can select manually the company code. There is no point doing it for 1,000 document when only one document will be like this.
Yeah.
I think he also showed just the manual upload. He also said that there are multiple entry points.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And here you can use your, so here when you see, right, you show the 3 templates like ABBYY, then does another machine learning and all. So do you also work with the ABBYY's custom skills? So when we basically copy ABBYY standard skill, we modify it. So this is now our skill. So, or it always has to be done by you.
It has to be done by us. So it's our Vantage system which we use, and if everything needs to be changed or if the Vantage needs to be trained or so, it's done by us.
What about pricing and plug and play and SaaS fees or whatever? I mean, how do you do this? I mean, do you do volume by flat rate?
So it's the invoice scanner is a cloud service which we offer.
SaaS.
That's why it's a SaaS model, and you have to pay for upfront for the deployment cost, and then you pay for the package, the amount of invoices which you
It's volume based. Okay, and it's going from where to where roughly?
So our packages start start with 500 pages per month, which in the end is something around 300 invoices per month, but it could scale up to anywhere.
Okay, how much is the document then? €1? Just
I
roughly.
don't have the number, I'm not sales, so I can't tell you that.
But in your benefit, only thing is that company, your customer doesn't have to take Vantage license and all. Everything is done by you. Basically, you put the entire layer.
Yeah.
So pretty much you're offering this. So everything can be done by you, but we don't have to buy an ABBYY license, right?
That's right, yeah.
But you coming and you put a plugin on the S4. You offer a plugin on the S3, on the R3.
Not yet, but that's something which we're taking a look into at the moment. Because we heard that request many times at the moment, because many companies are convinced by our scanning technology and scanning results, not today, obviously, but in general. And that's why we're checking at the moment if an integration with ECC is possible.
So what is the customer that you have with the highest volume of invoices or pages? Sorry for being...
You're from Siemens, right? I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I ask volume, that's right.
Probably you know Unix, which is a subsidiary of Siemens.
Yes.
Yeah, they are the customer we are using the highest amount.
Okay. Unix, our traffic. Right. Okay, so Unix is using, okay.
So where you place it.
Yeah, but this is a simple business, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So only for invoices, I guess, right?
Yes.
Only invoices for Germany.
Yeah, and okay. No, not only for German, we are also the US company is using that, and I mean the whole Unix is in Belgium, they are in Greece, in Turkey, and Germany, of course, and we're processing all these invoices.
Okay, good to know. Thank you for telling me.
And when you are saving the document, right, you are saving into the SAP system and not in the DMS system, like a file share directly. Or you can also do both, like file share also is supported.
We can do both. So in general, it's first imported into the S4 system, which is the standard mechanism, and from there we can use an archiving system.
Yeah, because when actually you upload into the SAP system, you have two options. You have one option which is DMS, so you don't consume the internal memory of the SAP system, and another is, I guess, which is I feel your solution is using, is directly uploading into the SAP system, and then you consume the memory of the main system.
That's firstly true, because we first upload it to the S4 system, but from there it can be transported via the standard mechanism to the DMS system.
Yeah, I have a question. In such case, when ABBYY doesn't recognize everything properly, you should put this data again and add some line item. And how ABBYY can be trained in such way? Because I thought that ABBYY can be trained only when you process manual review. But in such case, you don't have this manual review and you just add some line item or correct data and ABBYY will be trained.
So training of ABBYY is done by us in the background. And whenever you as a customer tell to us that there was something not recognized, we're going to do the training then. And then once this is done for all further invoices, you can use the trained data and it will recognize everything correct.
Yeah, I can also add to this information. Yeah, so definitely now, in order to train Vantage system, you need to use our Vantage interface. So, and it is something that Nagarro is doing in the background. But we are going to launch in Vantage training API that after it can be utilized. So it means like all of the changes you made here on the interface can be transferred to Vantage without opening Vantage interface.
You just send an API request with updated data to ABBYY and it will remember it and train?
Yeah, so practically we want to like provide possibility to replace ABBYY interface for training. So when the data is changed here, then go through API with the correct field value, field location, if it was relabeled to field location, and Vantage will be trained the same way as natively inside Vantage interface. I have a short question to you, Ulrich. So for your company, who is like ISV, independent software vendor, developing own product, integration was quite important thing, like to integrate Vantage inside your solution product for customer, to have like really native experience with your interface without seeing like ABBYY Vantage working on the ground. Can you tell us a little bit what was your integration experience with Vantage and how quickly you built first prototype of integrating the solution?
Yeah, good question. To summarize the full history, in the beginning we used Flexi Capture.
Okay.
And I think 2 years ago, or maybe 3 years ago, we decided to go for Vantage because we simply wanted to have better technology and further capabilities. But then switching to Vantage was done very quickly. I think the first prototype was done in, I don't know, 2 hours or so, because it's really bad. Which is, yeah, impressive.
Cool. Cool.
Actually, I like what you just said because I had this question, you will not believe to whom, to a DMS provider. Now Michael will jump on me. It was SCR because they're offering Find Reader and only Flexi Capture as that. Yeah. So it's interesting what you just said that you moved to Vantage for this reason. Is there any other reasons why you moved to Vantage?
I don't think so. I mean, Flexi Capture was already working quite good. But we wanted to use the latest technology simply, and that's why we switched to Vantage. Okay. And we, as Vantage is, you can train it via a web interface or do everything in the setup within a browser, and that's why we wanted to have it like that and not having this Flexi Capture installation.
Were you moving from Flexi Capture to ABBYY Vantage with an existing project? Or maybe that's more a question to Abby then. If you want to move with an existing project, can you transfer all the trained data also to Vantage? Or is that something you would start from the beginning again?
Yes and no. So you can really transfer that one, but it will work as Flexi layout that are living within Flexi Capture. So fast machine learning technologies that Maxim was talking, it's like completely different stories, I think, that we had with Flexi Capture, because with Flexi Capture, it simply creates alternative Flexi layout for different variants. So now we have true fast machine learning technology in Vantage. So you can transfer that thing, it will work as is, but if you want, you cannot retrain that things, but most probably it will be trained like new fast machine learning models for other variations.
But if you have a Vantage installation and you want to train your documents based on the new technology, the only thing you need to do is to upload maybe some 5 or 10 document types of each document type you have, of 5 to 10 documents, and then you can click on the train button, and this is done in a few seconds. Then your system is pre-trained, and then you can work as you worked before with Flexi Capture. So it's not a big deal to switch from that technology to Vantage.
Yeah, it is true, but I was referring, okay, like so behind these two products, different learning technology, different training technology. So it is not like transferring from one to another and continuing improving in Vantage system. No. Thank you very much for your presentation.